you guys have been putting on shows for a while at the shop, but I know that like just recently you finished building the stage. Like when did you decide to do that? And
when Livewire, we worked for Livewire for 4 years. We probably the last 3 years started throwing music. There towards the end, it kind of stopped for a while. Me breaking my wrist at Hemlock had a lot to do with that. So when Livewire actually decided to shut down, we were like, we've worked here for 4 years. We kind of don't want to leave. We like it here, so we took over, and that was one of the first things him and one of our buddies did was rip out 2 tattoo booths and built a stage. Because unfortunately, some of the bands we had through, like the Goddamn Gallows and Big John Bates band, people were getting hit in the mouths with their microphones from mosh pits and people going nuts. So that was like our first thing, was build a big stage, one where nobody can get checked in the stage and break their wrist like I did at Hemlock, or unfortunately artists getting teeth knocked out by their microphones.
I played a hallway once.
There you go.
Yeah, I had friends that were having a CD release party. They're like, "Come on, play a couple songs with us." And I'm thinking, okay, well, it was at a coffee shop, and we were literally down the hallway. The drummer was like at the end of the hallway, and then there was a couple of amps along the hallway, and we were kind of strung along the hallway.
That's
and it kind of opened up a little bit into a little bit of a stage area.
It's almost like playing at Tiny's Tavern. You're just stuck in this little tiny corner. It's fun playing there, but you're kind of stuck in a little tiny spot.
When it's just us, because there's no drums or anything. There's just a couple instruments and
And like we said, our co-home player's in 5 other bands, so he doesn't necessarily get to play with us every show. And then our harmonica player lives in Shelby, Montana.
Yeah, but like the first show I ever saw when it was just you two, like I loved it, and because you guys are like, you're in love and everything. You could like feel like the chemistry, like how you guys play together.
And it's
so
raw
good,
anyway.
And,
the music style is raw anyway.
Yeah,
it's real.
Raw. Like it's,
and
you both work together, and it's just you two, and it's like really intimate and just
we
like
laugh
beautiful.
at each other while we're playing because
we know the music better than anybody else do in the band. Unfortunately, because they're busy with their lives and everything they're doing, and we're grateful when we do get to have them with us. It definitely changes the music and fills it up a little bit more. But
then it's kind of an adventure for the band too. That they show up and they might get something extra that they weren't expecting.
It's an adventure for a songwriter.
And
because there's 10 different versions of every song I've written.
It is funny, like I love it because we know the music so well. We just sit up there playing, and I can always tell, like, if there's a lot of kids in the crowd, nobody else knows because they don't really know our music that well, but I know when he's like changing up lyrics to edit cuss words and stuff. And it's so cute, like you kind of have to sit there and just giggle and laugh because you know what he's doing.
For kids, because if you can inspire the kids to play music, then music's going to die eventually.
Exactly.
And we were talking about a little bit before we started this whole thing, and you were getting to know me a little bit, and that's where I come from, was just a live music experience. The closest thing that I had to a record store when I was growing up was, the Husky station had some George Jones 8-tracks maybe, or something on a little rack with the sunglasses.
That's awesome.
So I didn't, that was my introduction to music, was people playing, Bad Leroy Brown with, a couple of guys from the supermarket on a Saturday night, so people could kick up their feet a little bit, small town USA kind of thing. So, that's kind of where I come from.
Yeah, my dad's a drummer, so I've just always been around it.
There you go. My parents were always just, they love music, and my parents are like off in their own worlds with music.
Yeah.
So like, my dad, I had him listening to so much like old school R&B and soul music, and then he'd jump off into Kiss and Styx and Police, and then my mom had her country influence, and then her alternatives, she like your 9 Inch Nails and stuff. Still remember the day I got in my dad's truck once, and all of a sudden, like, I think it was Drowning Pool come on, and I was just like, what in the world? Then he showed up to his house one day, and he's listening to Christina Aguilera, and you just kind of look at him, and you're like, Dad, what is wrong with you?
My dad does stuff like that. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, right.
And it's so cool too because it's such a bonding thing. Like I'm so
really
close with my dad just because we can relate on that. Like
my dad,
if there's nothing else we have in common with, we can talk about music.
2 weeks ago, he called us up for a punk show. It was at the Rail Yard. My dad calls me and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing, tattooing." He's like, "What are you doing later?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "You want to go listen to some punk?" And you're just kind of sitting there going, "Who are you and what did you do?" Yeah. My dad, like, you want to go to a punk show? And then, of course, I get the whole thing. Well, I was listening to punk before you were born.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, he's walking uphill both ways to wherever you're going.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I was all like,
become a police officer later in life.
Always into like music.
He's a retired police officer now. He's a crazy old man.
Well, let's talk about childhood. Let's talk about where you come from musically. I mean,
I'm originally from Hot Springs, Arkansas, so back home, we definitely had a lot more of the folky type stuff. Cool thing is, me and my brothers, or one of my brothers in particular, Jonathan Cooper,